It's the American dream to own a piece of the rock, which is America. A small amount of research and a little vision and a handful of due diligence will keep the dream alive. However, for many who are misinformed, buying land turns into an expensive nightmare. Today, in this video, I'll discuss and make you aware of the many tragic mistakes that are common for those who fail to research the hazards which can be easily avoided with a small amount of research. Newcomers, beginners, often start with land because it looks so easy when you're driving by at 65 miles per hour. Starting with the basics, I will cover land and reveal the 6 mistakes to avoid. But first, in the first half of my life, I spent my working days teaching people how to fly airplanes. I can assure you, a person cannot learn to fly an airplane by reading a book. It's the same on skill with tax lien certificates and tax deeds and buying these properties at auction. I've discovered those who accept and embrace coaching are able to grow their skills quickly. It definitely helps to attend auctions, observe, and practice. Those who follow these 2 suggestions are the biggest wealth generators. Let's dive into these mistakes, starting with how a few simple oversights could cost you to lose your complete investment. To purchase land and utilize land, in most instances, the land will need water, power, and prior to purchase, you need a meaningful description of the size, shape, and the type of soil. Tax defaulted auctions have risks. Many purchase without any regard to these items. Untrained beginners fail to realize that research is necessary. For example, the county government may or may not have accurate records of the property boundary lines or the content of the soil. Additionally, the title could have defects. It is the buyer's, the bidder's responsibility to perform due diligence and know what they are bidding for and want to acquire. Without an accurate description, this leads to the average untrained person to buy without knowing about the proper boundary survey. They haven't determined what they are buying and have only evaluated the property from the street view or from a computer screen. This is a big risk. Keep in mind, the county treasurer is selling tax defaulted real estate at auction as is, buyer beware, caveat emptor. When you bid at a tax defaulted auction, remember this: the county is not your friend. The county is selling as is, where is, with potentially the wrong property description and unknown physical conditions and a questionable, unclear title which may be clouded. Tragic mistake number 1. If you're buying at a tax defaulted property auction, the local county, all 3,000 of them, is selling to rid themselves of delinquent tax defaulted real estate, which may or may not be used and abused. It could have waste. It could have no property description or an inaccurate property description. Boots on the ground and walking the property will allow the auction bidder to size up the land and verify the measurements and confirm the surveyor's monuments and markers. A basic understanding of real estate and business helps one avoid risks. The auction properties are delinquent and have been forfeited to the tax collector, and they may have been abused. Now that we've seen the hazards of ignoring property condition, let's explore other critical oversights. Tragic mistake number 2. You must research. Is it possible to bring water to the land economically, or is the water source miles away? Additionally, where is the power? Is it currently to the street or a distant power station? This will require thousands of dollars to bring it to the land. Tragic mistake number 3. Newcomers fail to research. Does the property have easements? Easements are a burden someone else has on the property. For example, a trucking company has an easement for their 20-ton trucks to cross your land at any time, 24/7, day or night. This could actually make the land worthless. I recommend using a tool that's referred to as the Geographic Information System. Many counties provide access to the GIS data that is valuable, detailed information about properties, locations, zoning, flood plans, and much, much more. Zoning is a big deal. Imagine paying thousands for a piece of land that you can't build on or have access to, or you don't actually own it because you don't have the boundary survey. And I've seen beginners make costly mistakes like this at tax defaulted auctions again and again. Tragic mistake number 4, will it perk? Is the land connected to the city or county water or sewer? Or do you plan to drill a well for drinking water and install septic? You'll need this information if someone plans a home on this property. The big question always is, will the land perk? This means percolate. If the water table is too high or the soil is too dry, the land will not percolate. Then it would be impossible for septic because the water will not be absorbed into the soil. Speaking of water, is the water pure enough for drinking if you do drill that well? Tragic mistake number 5. Many beginners are gamblers and assume land has clear title. That is not necessarily true. They think this way because they see no buildings. It's not unusual for a lien to be recorded that is not wiped out by the tax defaulted auction. A lien is a legal claim against the property. It's a burden that must be paid or corrected in some way. It's usually money owed. The highest bidder wins at the auction. That doesn't mean the liens are wiped out. A municipal or an IRS lien will remain. The lien is like a roadblock which prevents clear title. Municipal liens survive the tax defaulted auctions. Tragic mistake number 6, cash flow problems from mismanaged seller financing. The installment sale process doesn't require a seller to quiet title, nor does it require a bank approval for a loan. In other words, the landowner can sell and be their own banker and earn interest income for the future. The name of the game is make profits. Installment sales require no waiting, no appraisal, and no quiet title. This is a big mistake made by newcomers and beginners. In their excitement to make money quickly, they generate profits on paper. They have established a margin between buying low and selling at close to the retail market. This margin generates significant profits and is envied by most other buyers. Challenges for beginners and newcomers include they fail to balance their immediate need for cash. For example, living expenses and the requirements for funds needed to continue the business. Seller financing may not generate sufficient cash flow to handle immediate cash needs. Without proper cash flow reserves and a marketing plan, the newcomer may end up very rich on paper, but cash poor and able to demonstrate a high net worth, but no cash flow to pay daily bills. The message is you may need a buy low, sell low strategy to sell quickly to handle your cash flow needs. Making mistakes in land deals can cost you big, but don't stop there. Let's take it a step further. You need to avoid costly errors in tax deed investing and start maximizing your profits. Watch the next video where we break down the 5 biggest pitfalls holding investors back and how to avoid them. The link is in the description below.